Team Esquire.
What's good, y'all?
Back with another video. So someone requested that we do a video about affording New York and affording law school. Well, affording New York specifically as students and affording law school. So we thought we just kind of re-examine our decision with hindsight and let you know if we would have done it all over again.
Yep. See if we regretted choosing going to a school where we have to take out so much loans.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about all that.
So should we start with like our stories, like the decision we made?
Yeah, you can start.
I guess we said a little bit in the how to choose a law school video, which you can see here if you haven't yet. And some of the responses that I got, or like the advice that I got, was one, go to the best school you got into, or two, go to the school where you're getting the most financial aid. So as you know, I essentially ended up picking Columbia, even though they didn't give me as much financial aid as other schools. I'll give you guys like a ballpark of some of the schools that I was thinking about. So I had a number of schools that were top 20 that I basically got a full ride to, and then one school
Smart, y'all.
that was one school that was top 10.
That gave you a full ride?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like what would equate to it?
Okay. I have a similar situation. Like, I got the advice to go to the best school possible. Well, I got two types of advice. So that was one type of advice, just like go to the best school possible. And another piece of advice I got was go to a T14 school that gives you the most money. But I kind of took the first piece of advice more than the second one. So there was a school that gave me probably like 3 times as more money than Columbia did. And like the city is a lot cheaper. So overall, like I wouldn't really have to take out that much loans, but I still chose Columbia because it was like my dream school. So kind of the same as Sam, like I didn't go with the most money.
But I will say I was not paying sticker to any school. That was, because I know some people are considering that. And like I said, that's just a personal choice. Like you'll hear later about how I think law school is an investment pretty much. So if you want to make a $300,000 or $200,000 investment, do you? I guess if we're talking figures, for those who don't know, law school literally, if you're paying sticker, will cost you between $150 to like $250.
Yeah, if you didn't get any financial aid.
Yeah, so and that's what sticker is, to pretty much explain to people who don't know. So that's paying sticker price.
So what made you decide to like go with Columbia then, even though you got less money?
Well, that was like in the video.
Huh? So in hindsight, now that we're 3Ls, would you have chosen a school that was cheaper?
So I don't think I would have. Well, my answer is a little premature because I feel like I wouldn't know until maybe like 4 or 5 years out.
When you start repaying the loans and
exactly.
stuff?
And just like,
well, I guess you've already been repaying, but yeah.
If like the return on my investment is worth it. I don't know.
So you don't know if you regret it?
No, I know I don't. I want to talk more about it, but I don't know what to say. How about you?
I don't regret it so far. I think it is a lot of loans, and it's like even more than I expected it to be, just because like I think I kind of underestimated how expensive New York would be. Like I always heard about rent being expensive, but I didn't have a lot of knowledge about how like literally everything is expensive in New York.
So what do you mean by everything?
Like food's more expensive, train passes to go places, like stuff like that. Just like everything's more expensive. So yeah, I don't regret it so far though. Like I think based on what I hear, I think I'll be able to repay it in a few years, and yeah.
No, I also thought that I would have a lot less loans than I did going in, but I think that was just primarily because I became less debt averse as I went through. I was like, I'm not about to be struggling through school like I did in college. And it's weird, right? Because college I had a full ride, but it was like little living expenses that became really tight. So
what do you mean?
Like you said, food, stuff like that. I wanted to be more flexible as an adult.
I also think I became more debt averse as law school went on. Like 1L, I was a lot more like strict with my budget. I had a weekly budget. I barely ever went over it, things like that. And I think as law school went on and like your classmates and stuff like that, like taking trips or like doing stuff like bonding, going to brunch and stuff like that. And I just like didn't really want to miss out on that. So I like I've taken out extra loans, like more loans than I thought I would, to be able to like live okay, like while I'm in law school. And I don't know, looking at like earning potential and things like that, I still don't regret it so far. But like Sam said earlier, I'm not gonna know until I graduate.
Yeah. So we'll revisit this video in 2 years for y'all. For all the people who are thinking public interest, another thing to consider is the Loan Repayment Assistance Program. That was right? LRAP. So specifically Columbia, I don't know if other schools have their own program, because I hear the national one isn't as good, but I'm not sure. That's something to look into, which basically it's a program where after 10 years, the government or your school or whatever, however the program is set up, pays off your loans. But for those 10 years, you have to work in the public sector, literally consistently. Like you can't like go into the private sector and then come back into the public sector. Like it's literally like 10 years straight.
And the requirements are pretty strict. So like you have to be working like in a legal capacity, and they have like a list of all these factors. So you'll learn, if you're in law school already, or if you're not, you'll learn that like being a lawyer, there's some parts of it that are like not that lawyerly, if that makes sense. Like you're like, sometimes you're giving business advice or you're giving other forms of advice, but they want you to like strictly be a lawyer during those 10 years. So if you know for sure public interest is for you, then that'll be a good route to take. But if you're still on the fence and think you like might do it for a few years and not for 10 years straight, then you have to think about that too.
Right. And there's also, speaking on the point where she said if you know public interest is for you, I also think that I would mirror that when it comes to, or echo that when it comes to scholarships. Because I know some people who are considering scholarships for public interest work. If you're not sure that you wanted to go to public interest, keep in mind that you have to pay it back. So if you end up not working in public interest for a certain amount of years after you graduate, if that's what your scholarship had as a requirement, you have to pay that money back. They're not gonna be like, oh, well, Sam, you changed your mind. Thank you so much for coming to ours. No, they're gonna tell you to pay it back.
Damn.
Yeah. This is just an aside for anyone who's thinking JD MBA. You know, you want to go to the private sector, whether it's like in-house after a few years, a law firm, etc. Then I would say go for it. And the reason I say that is because this is something I didn't know when I was applying, and I was thinking JD MBA, but I didn't want to pay extra money. They will give you a MBA bonus. So if you have MBA, they'll give you a bonus when you start work.
Yeah. I mean, see, I struggle with that advice because I feel like the bonus isn't enough reason to go for it.
If you're already thinking it?
Oh, if you're already convinced? You already convinced you want to do it?
Like, it's like if you're thinking JD MBA, but you're like, it's gonna be expensive.
Oh, so if that's the factor?
Yeah,
okay.
Like don't like let that deter you.
Another thing, going back to what we were saying about how we chose Columbia over schools that gave us more money. Another reason why I don't really regret it is because I think, thinking about the school that I guess I turned down over Columbia, I think I've had a better time at Columbia than I would have had there. And people will say like it's just 3 years and it's a sacrifice, but I think 3 years is a long time. Like it's still your life. I don't believe in the whole like your real life starts when you graduate. Like while you're in law school, while you're in school, that's your real life as well. So if there's a city or an option for like you feel like you'd be happier, like I was really excited to live in a city I've never lived in before and meet new people and things like that. So that also like makes me not regret it.
Paying for happiness. It's sad to say, but it's a real thing.
That makes you sound so lame.
Look, some people got paid for happiness, that's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
But I was gonna say also, if you're not going straight through, I think it's a lot more difficult to go to school for 3 years and not make, well, you make money over the summer, but just as a whole, not make money during the school year. Because like, we're both straight through, so we're used to being broke.
Basically.
Ain't no thing.
Yeah, it's not a transition, like how I went from making money. That's another reason why I went straight through, because I kind of wasn't sure if I wanted to go straight through for a while, and I was debating, and like I had like a job offer and stuff. And I was like, will I be able to turn down this money and not make this amount of money for 3 years? But if I just never make that money at all, it might be easier to do that. So yeah, I think it's easier for us.
I've been eating noodles.
She was just eating this fancy lobster the
Wow.
other day. I saw her favorite restaurant. That place is expensive with them crab legs. Don't let her lie to y'all.
I only go there once a month.
I was eating noodles yesterday.
Me too.
Okay. One piece of advice that you're gonna get is to not work while you're in school. I think that has been really hard for me. I think it's good advice because you're supposed to be focusing on school, but I have known people that have worked during school and have been able to make it work. I feel like a job at the library or something might be best so that you can actually study on the job. What do you feel about that piece of advice? You think it's like worthwhile to not work during school?
The time you spent working, where you could have spent studying or you could have spent doing something else, literally equates to dollars in the long run. So I think if you do better in school, and you could have done better in school, but you spent that time working, you're getting money now, but it doesn't even equate to potential income. Yeah.
I know there are some firms, well, I have two things to say about that. One, there are some firms that'll like keep you on during the school year. And I think as a 2.0 or 3.0, those situations, it could be worth it because your schedule is more flexible during those years. So you could be making a lot of money if you stay on with the firm during the school year, and like your schedule could be more flexible. So in those cases, and you've probably already been hired by them at that point. So I feel like in those cases, it might be worth it to have a job. Two, I was gonna say that like for some people, I know this applies for me and like some people I know, that like you just are more productive when you're busy. It's like sometimes if you have like more things on your schedule, like you have a job or you have like kids or whatever else it is that like requires you to be there, you're like, you use your hours more wisely. So if that's you, then maybe a job is worth it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so living in New York. Living in New York is expensive as hell. Just plain and simple. Someone asked, how do you afford living in New York? The short answer to that question is loans.
We don't. We're taking out debt to afford New York. And it's so funny because so one of my friends from Houston, she also like moved to New York, and we always make this joke about how like breathing in New York costs $20, but it literally feels like everything you do in New York costs $20.
I never pay rent. $15,000 from me every year just to live here, and it's not even in a nice apartment like that.
Your apartment's nice.
Not $15,000. I said not $15,000.
Yeah, Picasso.
I will say though, it works for me a little bit that I live at home during the summers, because like the summers are obviously where I'm making the most money because I worked in the private sector twice. Plus not paying anything in rent. Shout out to my mama. Plus getting them free dinners. Shout out to my mama. Like that all added up. Like even now, like I can easily live off of money that I made during the summer.
I'm really jealous of that.
So yeah. And then even when I go back, I'm living with my mama again for a little while. What? And I ain't embarrassed. All those people are like, I'm 25, I got my own apartment. Guess what? I'm trying to live with my mama until I move out.
One piece of advice I would give is that I think 1L, a lot of times, like I said, 1L, I was like on this crazy budget. And I wonder how people were able to like live so carefree as if money wasn't really an obstacle. But you have to realize, just because you're all paying the same tuition, just because you're all working at the same places over the summer making the same amount, does not mean you're in the same financial position as someone else. Like some people are getting help from their parents, some people are helping their parents out. Like some people are like, don't have, like, you know, like you're not just, you can't like compare yourself to other people. And I think I was doing that a lot until I got to know people and realized like they had a lot of aid, like more aid than I did. And I felt less guilty about like not choosing to go to certain places or like spend money on certain things. So I think that's like a common, what's the word? Like common assumption in law school that like we're all at the same position in life and we're all doing the same financially, when that's not true. I think that's it.
I hope that answered your question. If not, I guess you can comment below again and let us know if you wanted this video to go another way. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and watch out for more videos. And yeah,
see you later.
Bye guys.
Bye.